Alright, welcome back with the Count of Shadows. We're back here to do more of this. Everything's been going well. Everything's been going well on screen and off screen. I had to take a break for a little bit. My brother's time machine needed a little bit of fixing. I had to mess with it a little bit. He had the settings all wrong. I don't know what he thought he was doing. Like, when we have these powerful stuff just lying around, you gotta be extra careful on that. He didn't even have any of the proper safety stuff on. But now he should be good. He should wind up exactly where he needs to be. He's going out to Europe for something or another. Heaven knows why. But we're here, and we're gonna be getting ourselves recruited. For those of you who aren't aware, we're infiltrating the military to reach a contact to give them a letter. And yeah. We are an Olda, which appears to be a normal human being, aside from the blue hair. I was hoping that we'd blend in with the crowd and no one would notice. You're an Olda, but the people here have sharper eyes than I thought. We don't want to draw any attention to ourselves, but having your tribe is only going to make it worse. People may insult you, but do your best to stand tall. Easier said than done, I'm sure, but for the sake of the mission. And on that note, the recruitment's office is looking where we... Yeah, I know where we're going. Yeah, this game is not very subtle in its themes. They said it was going to have fantasy and anxiety, and they've not been very subtle about that. And then it has the whole modern racism thing, which... Look, and like whenever I see feminism, racism, or politics brought up in games, I'm not going to say you can't do those things right, because one of my favorite games of all time is like BioShock. And that has a critique of capitalism and right-wing extremism in it. And that's undeniable. But it was meant to be a fun game, first and foremost. And the other stuff, you know. Now, you could make the argument in those games that Andrew Ryan is actually doing things appropriately because he actually sticks to his morals as a capitalist. And the capitalist, theoretical ideas of competition and everything. It isn't until you start getting the magic sea slugs that it starts to become an issue. So, you know, it's balanced. Modern politics in most media in general isn't very balanced. I enjoy video games. I do not enjoy being preached at. As you can imagine, as a Lord of Hell, I don't go to church, and it's very, very painful for me. I can only imagine it's painful for all of you as well. I don't know how normal human beings stand being preached at. Alright, here we go.
That must be the recruitment center. I'll let you take it from here.
Thank you. Very obvious.
It should be pretty straightforward. Oh,
you're clearly
and if
not
you start
fixing.
asking questions, just be as honest as you can. Lying will only make us more suspicious. So long as you don't compromise the mission, you're fine. Good luck in there. Knock 'em dead.
Thank you. I know the basics of... I know the basics of deception. I know a lot more about this.
Okay,
I've deceived
you got this.
millions and started my own cult. I don't need you to tell me how to deceive people.
A blue blood, are you? The army's no place for velvet-swaddled lordlings. Why are you here? Perhaps your noble family collapsed under its own weight. Is that it?
Lineage seems a strange measure for a soldier's word. I'm looking to enlist. Is that enough for you or not?
An uppity one, aren't you? Fine, lordling. Welcome to the Guard, where it'll be your privilege to die screaming and bloody in service of your country. But mark my words, war will turn your arrogance to piss. When your corpse is plucked from the mud, do try to look patriotic.
Rousing words, Captain. You think threats will buy loyalty? No wonder nobody respects the Guard anymore. But I'm here now, so perhaps the kingdom isn't a lost cause.
Wow.
You will learn your place.
Don't. The healers have enough on their plates already.
Be gone, and be thankful you're still in one piece. All right, next. Hurry it up.
At least he looks like he could swing a sword without falling over.
An elder?
You tub of lard.
I thought your kind was long gone. Age 18. An orphan, too. The army can always use more of those.
Yes, we get
So,
it. War
what
orphans,
brings
you're
you
evil.
to enlist?
We get it. I want to fight for change. I need the money. I'm just bored. I need the money. That's believable.
Pragmatic, if nothing else. But I suppose a vagrant like you could use the work. So, what can you bring to our beloved corps? Any skills to speak of?
I'm stronger than I look. I got a sharp mind. I can take a lot of punishment. I'm small but quick. I've always been lucky. Let's say we're sharp.
I've got a sharp mind.
Yes, you and every unschooled troglodyte. Right, last order of business. Make your mark or sign your name if you're actually literate.
Well, he was more respectful to us than the, you know, noble. Alright, so we need a good name for this character. This is like a European fantasy, and I don't know if you saw my save on the last game, but we're just gonna call him Alexander. I think this will work, because we can't use Count of Shadows or anything like that, because that's us, and they already put our name in there. Protagonist is Alexander, yes.
You know your letters, do you? We'll get some use out of you yet. All right, lad. Welcome to the Guard.
Yes!
Thank you.
I'm sure you heard about the monster sightings, so stay sharp out there. We're short-handed as it is, so be a good lad and try not to get killed on your first deployment. You can pick up your kit at reception. Standard issue guardsman armor and igniter. Kingdom property. So if you break it, it's coming out of your commission. On your way now. Up to...
So the ability to use magic is a standard ability for all soldiers. I like that. It's sort of realism. Obviously, they want all their soldiers to be able to, you know, fling fireballs. But Alon, I guess we got no choice but to wait it out and turn. You know, let's go ahead and join the queue. Let's get in Alon and get our magical gear and get going. I mean, if you have to be dependent on a piece of gear...
What? Of those huge monsters? You think that's why we're low on soldiers? Wish they'd have told us that. What do they call them? Something like, human?
Yes, human.
Next.
He just has a great sword already. I love
Another
that.
Clamar.
You know.
Wait. No. You don't look like the others. Surely not. An elder? It's the first of your kind I've seen.
Move it. There's a priority around here. We're arming squires and children with igniters now. Wasted good gear. It's better off in my hands. Give it here.
Brute force. Crude insults. The world is yours for the taking.
Care to say that again, boy?
We all have our reasons to enlist. Now get back in line.
Oh, another high and mighty Clamar, is it? You think your pretty words will measure up to pure Rousseau strength?
Oh, forget the tribes. This is a matter of pride. Now, you owe us both an apology.
Come on. No fighting in the ranks.
Is it just me, or does that guy look a bit
Sorry
like
for
a
making
demon
a
with the
scene.
horns?
You all right?
I had it handled.
I had it handled. You didn't need to butt it.
I saw injustice, and so I spoke up. I don't think that's unreasonable. Well, see you around. Try not to die out there.
Don't make my job any harder, please. Here, your igniter. These
Cinder
days, most
igniter.
come with their own magna crystals. So with practice, anyone can use magic. To an extent, anyway. It's not the sort of thing you can master in a day. For now, newbies like you best focus on surviving.
Magic igniter. Captain, I spoke with one earlier. They must take many different forms, like I saw on the street.
And take this too. Protect it with your life.
Ah, good map.
Wow, that's a real map. It's dangerous to even chart the wilds, but this is full of details. Only the military could pull this together.
Listen up, striplings.
I love how
My
no
name
one can
is
see her.
Captain Klinger. And as of this moment, you miserable lot are under my command. I'm sure you've all heard about our forces being tied up with the funeral proceedings for His Majesty. But if you think you're on cushy security detail, think again. First, you will be deployed to a fortress at the northern border, where you will be trained into true guards. Our veterans there will teach you the one thing you need to master if you're to survive. Pain.
Perfect. That's exactly where our contacts hold up.
Enjoy tonight's sleep, because it's the last full night's rest you'll get. Dismissed!
Look at all the other recruits. They really are desperate for new blood. Oh, right. I know you don't know what our contact looks like yet, but he'll know you by your sword. He'll also know right away why we've come. And don't worry, I'll recognize him. Well, the charming captain is probably right. We should get some rest before tomorrow. Hey. You awake?
Is it morning already?
Is it morning already?
Does it look like morning? Look, I just have a lot on my mind. Can't seem to fall asleep.
And that
I heard about
justifies
what
you
it's like
keeping
in
me
the
awake,
capital,
how?
but still, when you hear and see all this prejudice out in the open,
Oh my
it's a
god.
lot. You okay?
That's just how it is.
Well, I don't think that should be how it is. Some people are even saying it's the lesser tribe's fault that the monsters are showing up at all. These are the same kind of people who burned down your village, remember?
Oh, and I had a burnt down village.
That
Of
was
course
a
I
long
did.
time ago.
I mean, I know this, but still.
But still, the prince was kind to take you in. He cared more about who you were than what you were. I can see why you'd want to repay him. Oh, speaking of, he's the one who gave you that book, right? Can I see it?
What book? I don't see a book.
Oh, I don't know. The one lying right there that you're always carrying around? Good thing those bandits weren't much for reading, huh? Thanks. It's what you call a fantasy story, right? So it's a fantasy world made up by the author. The prince loved those kinds of stories. Okay, let's see. It says the young traveler was amazed by the world he saw. In this world, there is only one tribe. All people accept each other, and no soul is born into discrimination. Wow. So not even any fairies? I guess less differences means less to argue over. In such a world, there is no need for sorcery. A megapolis is built through learning and labor. Towers of glass that reach the heavens. Safe nights with no dark shadows. Busy streets well traveled, and in the laws of these emotionally satisfied people it reads, all lives are equal. Whoa. I see. No magic, no tribal conflict, and equality for all? It really does sound like a fantasy, but it's strange to feel envious of a fictional world. Hey, are you asleep already? You know how hard it is for me to turn these pages on my own? Well. Guess I'll just read more later. Good night.
It's kind of funny, like a group of people being jealous of, like, Tokyo or a modern city in Shin Megami Tensei. And this is a Shin Megami Tensei game, make no mistake about that. This is like, can you just imagine it? Like, I'd love if there's just some ending where they get to, like, the real world. That's obviously what they're implying that is. And it's just like the opening of 4, Shin Megami Tensei 4, like, they just see a massive thing. Like, what's that? And it's just a fucking nuke. And then it's like a giant, and then like Masakato breaks out of the ground. Like, what's going on? What's going on? It's like everything just gets blown up, and there's demons everywhere. It's like, oh no, that would be
Shouldn't
funny.
you be resting?
Like a Drakengard ending.
I'm fine. In fact, I'm glad we have this chance to talk. I've been reading, and I hope that someday we can make our kingdom like the place in this book. You said it was some kind of fantasy novel, didn't you? Our lives are decided at birth, by tribal purity, or by the differences that make us who we are. I don't want that to be the world we live in. The Elder here are a perfect example. If you'd not sheltered me, I would never have survived. And yet, they burned your home down. It's tragic, and no one should have to suffer so. Someone needs to fix... You okay? Don't push yourself so hard. Reality is much too cruel. I know that. But I'll fight it. I'll fight to the end. I'm a prince. But I need to be a hero. One worthy of the throne.
Heroes don't belong on thrones.
One who can lead. A beacon who will pierce the darkness when all seems lost. My father taught me that. In his stories, the kingdom was full of legendary heroes. So I can't give up. In my ideal world, people can believe in their future. Their birth doesn't matter. Not that I expect it will be easy. I believe in you. Familiar words. When I'm down, when I struggle, you're always there to help me through it. Let's do it. You'll be a hero. Trust me.
Oh, look at that.
I won't give up either. Trust me.
Okay, can we get going now? Alright, we're shipping on out.
Until arrival at the northern border fort, one day remains.
You know, something occurs to me. If this prince has been in a coma for 10 years and he was like 8 and still reading like fantasy stories, like their version of Lord of the Rings or whatever, what use is he going to be if he gets out? I mean, he spent 10 years in a coma. He has no idea what's going on. He has the education of like a 10-year-old. He has the mental maturity of a 10-year-old. You're not going to be able to put him on the throne. I mean, he's going to be dead. I mean, someone murdered his father. He's going to be dead within a week if you even do. Yes, let's go.
Okay then.
There is one thing. The main character, it's going to reveal exactly who the problem is in a moment. But he gives me real, he reminds me a bit of, what's his name from Berserk? Griffith, that's it. He reminds me of Griffith a lot.
The northern border fort. The towering fortress
Except, you know,
was built during
less of
the
an,
Alex War in the
less
mountains of the edge of the
powerful.
territory. Even now, soldiers are sent there for
Just as
strategic
manipulative, though.
importance to the royal capital and to combat the rising waves of monsters. Fresh-faced soldiers disembark from their coaches at the foot of a steep ascent to the fort, the first of many uphill battles.
Oh, finally. Can hardly feel my legs.
Listen well, you lackwits. The battlefield is no place to sit on your asses, and the border front is always a battlefield. The call to arms could sound at any time. Stand to, curs. You have the honor to serve at the command of Captain Klinger, war hero, tactician, master of arms.
Yeah.
Rank in the trenches, forged in the blood of my comrades.
It's almost been another entire...
Say, friend, I'm curious. What is it about that book that's captivated you so?
It's hard to explain.
It's, hard to explain.
Some kind of fantasy novel, you said. So it's
I
describing
didn't
a
say
better
anything to
world.
you.
A utopia, perhaps. I'm something of a reader myself, but that's not like any book I've read. You know, when the late king took the throne, he was quite the idealist himself. He made grand claims about unifying the people under his rule. Never managed to do it in the end, of course. Reform takes more than high-minded, eloquent speeches. Maybe he was too blind to see that himself.
Listen to you. A babe with his first sword, thinking he knows better than a king. Keep your mouth shut. No one cares what you think.
Nobody asked you.
Something to say? Go on. I'm listening.
Don't worry, my friends all talk.
Don't worry, my friends all talk.
Hey,
This one's sharp for a lesser tribesman. Well, Clemar, I'll let it go this time. But only because I like your friend. Next time, keep your complaining to yourself.
that's the last thing I need. Though I suppose I deserved it in part, speaking ill of the dead and all. My mouth tends to get ahead of my thoughts sometimes. Although, I'm glad a bad habit seems to have drawn us together. Oh, never got round to an introduction. I'm Stroll. Leon Stroll, son of the Count of Harlia. And you are?
I can't tell you.
I can't tell you. Personal reasons.
Oh, come off it. You wrote it down on your enlistment papers.
You can at least give him your name. We don't want to look too suspicious here.
I have that right? It's got a certain weight to it. For
I
what it's
love-
worth, my title doesn't mean much.
Yes, I'm
Here and
Alexander
now,
the
we're
Great.
peers and equals.
By the
Oh,
skin
you
of
aren't my peer.
teeth. Now,
Or my equal.
where was I? Right, as for you, fresh meat.
Someone help!
Is that a soldier? Hey, speak to me, man. What happened?
That's a corpse, not a soldier.
Stay on guard. It's too...
Not one of mine. Must be one of the fort's guard. Those damn vultures across the border. They must have heard about the king's death. Anyway, to the fort. Double time. I'll stay behind to see to the poor bastard's wounds.
You want us to go on ahead? Alone? Shouldn't we at least send a team back to ask for...
I knew fear would take you at the first step. You want to turn tail? Are you a traitor to the cause? The Guard has no place for cowards. You are part of His Majesty's Royal Army. Swallow your fear. Fight with pride. And we'll all have medals this time tomorrow.
He's right. We're warriors. Up there is our first chance at glory and riches. Damned if I'm gonna waste it. Let's go.
Wow. There's a distinct possibility that most of them have never held a sword before.
Well, I suppose this is what we signed up for. Onward, to the fort then.
Alright, we're finally getting into some action. And unfortunately, I'm gonna have to call it here as soon as we get to like an area where I can stop and
Hey.
pause.
I've got a bad feeling about this. It's hard to explain, but it's like there's a stench in the air, and it's getting
She
stronger.
has armor
Hey.
now.
Did something happen? Wait, is that a... fairy? Did you catch it yourself?
Yep, just over there. I don't see a fairy.
Fairy. I didn't see a fairy.
Are you really trying to play that card now? He just saw you talking to me. And I have a name, you know. If you're gonna call me anything, call me Gallica.
So you travel together? You've stayed well hidden for quite a while.
Well, I didn't want anyone making a fuss. But we've got bigger problems right now. I can't shake this feeling. We gotta be careful.
Agreed. I'll follow orders, but I'm not about to let this armchair general send me to my death. Let's take a
Smart
moment,
man.
then head in once we're prepared. I assume you know how to use an igniter properly?
I'm not so sure. He's never used one before. I mean, he's a commoner, so not much chance to.
Fair enough. Well, just stay behind me and you'll be all right. I swear I won't let you die. I'm with you.
New ally. Okay.
Oh, this is bad. I didn't think you'd actually have to fight anyone. I just hope our contact in the fort's okay. Let's keep our guard up and hope we find out.
Alright. Well, this is unexpected event, but don't lose sight of our mission, okay? Our ally is inside there. Yeah, that's my guess. Somehow we've got to find him. Oh, you're running with such purpose. What was it you talking about? Something about your ally? Oh, nothing. I'm just worried about the soldiers inside. I see. Well, whatever the case, the situation concerns me too. Let's go inside. Alright, so that's that. I think we're going to call this here. This has been the Count of Shadows. Remember, the shadows are your friends.